and I'm an optometry student. Today I'm back with another topic that is color blindness. And in this video I'm going to cover the definition, of course, the types of color blindness, diagnostic test, treatment, and some of the terms that are related to color blindness. So without any delay, let's get started. So what we mean by the term color blindness? What is that first thought that comes to our mind when we hear about color blindness? Color blindness is actually color vision deficiency. Deficiency means there is something which is actually lacking, right? So in color blindness, we know there are three primary colors. First, red, green and blue. So in color blindness, one or two or more than two primary colors are found to be either defective or completely absent. There are two terms I would like to mention. First one, the anomalous. Second one, anopia. It is very important to know about these two terms and not to get confused in between these two. In some cases where primary colors are found defective, we termed it as anomalous, and where there is complete absence of primary colors, we termed it as anopia. So for defective primary colors we called anomalous, and for complete absence of primary colors we termed it as anopia. And color blindness victims have trouble in seeing these red, blue or green colors or mixture of these colors. So now let's come to the types of the color blindness. There are two types of color blindness. First one is the congenital color blindness. Second one is the acquired color blindness. Congenital means this blindness is actually inherited or inborn disease that is actually passed down from parents. Second, the acquired color blindness, it can cause due to some injury to eye, certain eye problems like glaucoma, cataracts or any refractive errors. Sometimes aging process can also be a cause behind acquired color blindness. So first we will know the details about congenital color blindness. As I have already said that it's an inborn blindness, and the gene that is responsible for congenital color blindness is present on X chromosome. And in this case, like in congenital color blindness, males get more easily affected than females. Like the percentage becomes 8% for the male population and 0.5% for the female population. Like in every 12 men, we will get one man with color blindness, congenital color blindness. And in every 200 women, we will get one woman victim of congenital color blindness. Congenital color blindness is divided into two types. First one, dyschromatopsia. Second one is achromatopsia. Dyschromatopsia means color confusion, and it is further classified into two types. Among two, one is anomalous trichromatism. Second one is the dichromatism. Anomalous trichromatism. So anomalous means, I have already mentioned, anomalous means defective primary colors. So in anomalous trichromatism, all the three primary colors are present but are found to be defective. And for different colors, there is different terms. For defective red color, it is called protanomalous. For defective green color, it is called deuteromalous. And for blue color, like blue defective primary color, we call trianomalous. So for red color, we call protanomalous. For green color, we call deuteromalous. And for blue color, we call trianomalous. Like this, the second category comes dichromatism. Dichromatism means all the three primary colors are completely absent. Like there is no presence of primary colors. And in this case also, there are different terms for different colors. For complete absence of red color, we termed it as protanopia. Anopia. I have already said that anopia means there is no primary colors, like complete absence of primary colors. So for red, we called it protanopia. For green color, like complete absence of green color, we termed it as deuteranopia. And for blue color, trianopia. So it is very important to know all these terms properly with proper definition, like not to get confused between any of these colors. For red, prota is very important. Like for the you have to just add anopia and anomalous in both the cases. Like in for defective red color, protanomalus, and for complete absence of red color, we call protanopia. Like there is a difference, just a difference between anomalous and anopia. Now let's come to the another type of congenital color blindness, that is achromatopsia. Till now I was talking about the first type of congenital color blindness, that is dyschromatopsia, and under dyschromatopsia we have heard about anomalous trichromatism and dichromatism. Now let's come to the another type, that is achromatopsia. Achromatopsia is something a rare condition, and it is also further divided into two categories. One, cone monochromatism, and second one is a rod monochromatism. So what are these rods and cones? Rods and cones are the two photoreceptor cells in the human retina, and these two photoreceptors are very much important for normal vision, right? So in case of cone monochromatism, only one primary colors are present. It can be red, it can be blue, it can be green. Any one of these three colors are present, and a person with cone monochromatism are totally colorblind. And those victims have visual acuity of 6/12. And if you are new this to channel and you don't know about what is visual acuity and what is 6/12, these things, so you can check my previous video where I have mentioned about visual acuity and 6/12 measurement. Hope you will get to know. And the second one is the rod monochromatism. Rod monochromatism means total. It also means that total color blindness. In Bengali we called it as din kana, right? So another term is that day blindness. Those who have rod monochromatism, we can also call them as having day blindness, and those victims with rod monochromatism has visual acuity of 6/60. So this was all about the types of congenital color blindness. It is divided into dyschromatopsia and achromatopsia. Dyschromatopsia is also further divided into two types, and achromatopsia is also divided into two types. I can't show you because I don't have any blackboards and all. So I have made a flowchart. I would like to show you all, and so just have a look. I hope this flowchart will definitely help you out, because sometimes people get confused in between these terms, as there are many, and it's very important to have a clear concept of all these terms. Now let's come to the aqueous color blindness. Till now we were talking about congenital color blindness. Now let's see what is there in aqueous color blindness. In aqueous color blindness, there is a blue-yellow impairment, and that can cause due to shallow retinal detachment, and there is one thing, red-green impairment, that can cause due to suppression or compression of the optic nerve. So there is these two things are the main things, and there is nothing much about aqueous color blindness. Now let's come to the diagnostics test by which we can say that yeah, this is he is a victim of color blindness, right? By which we can observe the symptoms of color blindness. So let's see what is that test where we can observe someone with color blindness. In aqueous color blindness, it actually damages the macula part or somewhere part of optic nerve. In aqueous color blindness, it damages the macula part and also the optic part. And this aqueous color blindness is also associated with decreased visual acuity. I've already said that many things that is related to like many disease like glaucoma, cataract, and refractive errors can be a cause behind aqueous color blindness. Sometimes some side effects of medicine can also be a cause behind aqueous color blindness. There are many tests for color blindness, but here I would like to mention only one, because this test about which I am going to talk is the most common test, like a very common test for color blindness, and that is Ishihara test. Yes, that is Ishihara test, and this test is particularly for red and green color and not for the blue color. and this test contain 38 tests. Yes, 38 tests of circles created by irregular colored dots in two or more colors, and in that circle we will find some numerical value like 8, 12, 3, different numerical value, different numbers actually. And so upon the reading upon the patient who is reading those plates, we detect that whether he is a colorblind or not. And for the blue color there must be a test. Yes, Titan colorblind test is for blue color detection. Now this is all about the diagnostic test by which we can observe that whether he is a colorblind or not. So we talked about the diagnostic test like Ishihara test and Titan test by which we can detect the victim of color blindness. So there must be a treatment of this disease or of this color blindness, but actually there is no treatment of this disease. Yes, especially for like a congenital color blindness, because it is inherited, it is a inborn blindness. So till now there is no permanent solution for color blindness. There are different types of spectacles, different color filters that can be used by a patient for a temporary solution, not for a permanent one. There is actually no, till now there is no permanent solution for color blindness. But in case of acquired color blindness, if the cause of the blindness is observed and a good treatment is given to the patient, good medication is given to the patient, then it may be possible that their vision may get normal. It is possible, but it's applicable only for acquired color blindness and not for congenital color blindness. So we can say that there is currently no treatment or no solution, permanent solution for color blindness. The contact lenses, different color filters, spectacles that are used for congenital color blindness are actually not a permanent solution, because it only enhances the brightness or contrast between two colors and not the proper vision, right? And congenital color blindness victims needs good counseling, because in case of acquired color blindness, this blind thing develops after certain incident or after certain situation, like any disaster, like any disease or any surgery. But in case of congenital color blindness, that person born with this disease and they have to carry this disease for their entire life. Like we cannot actually imagine how they survive and how they deal with their day-to-day life. So this was all about color blindness. Actually there are a lot more things to know about this topic, and I have tried to give you some general basic knowledge that one should have regarding color blindness. So if you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like and share it with your friends. Till then, take care and see you in the next video.